All right, looks good, huh?
Yeah.
Are you ready? All right, let's go. You gonna get the security detail? All right. You might get a picture first here. I got a parking ticket. Yeah, Mike's got me, Mike, yes.
But you should have had him drive it from that side.
Can I just put it in a pocket? Scheduled at about. All right. Woo! Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Woo! Nice, guys. Fantastic. Great. I think everybody is probably here that's going to be here, so congratulations, everybody. It's a job well done. Amazing, amazing.
Where's the champagne?
More than water tomorrow night. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Good morning, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Jeff Gorder. I'm a spokesperson for the committee to recall Supervisor Kevin Crye. Today, the committee will deliver recall petitions containing 5,104 signatures to the County Register of Voters. The minimum number of valid signatures needed to place the recall of Supervisor Crye on the ballot is 4,151. We're confident that once Ms. Darlene Allen has counted all the signatures and completed a review for validity, that we will have more than the required amount. I'd like to thank the hundreds of volunteers and financial supporters who've made this moment possible. This has truly been a grassroots, locally funded effort. I'd also like to thank the thousands of county residents who supported the cause by signing the recall petition and encouraging our efforts. Contrary to Supervisor Crye's claim that this recall was spurred by a group of liberal Democrats, this has always been a nonpartisan undertaking. Our volunteers and supporters come from all political affiliations: Republican, Independent, Libertarian, Democrat, no party preference, Green, Common Sense, the entire spectrum. Over half of those who have signed the petition are non-Democrats. We all have one thing in common. We seek a return to stable and responsible government, a government that we can be proud of. Over this summer, Supervisor Crye has been a featured speaker at gatherings in the San Joaquin Valley. The most recent one billed itself as the Lodi Freedom Fest. He spoke briefly about the recall effort, and he said, and I quote, "They, the people behind the recall, don't like things having to do with faith, family, God, and country." Well, the people behind the recall include not only the hundreds of volunteers and financial backers, but the thousands of District 1 voters who signed the petition to recall Mr. Crye, and the thousands more county residents outside of District 1 who encouraged our efforts. I can assure Supervisor Crye that all of us are patriotic Americans who love our families, honor our faith traditions, and follow our own sense of duty. That statement of his and his ongoing divisive behavior demonstrate an even greater urgency to the need to remove him from a position of political leadership of all residents in this county. We have never taken this recall effort lightly. However, Supervisor Crye betrayed the trust of District 1 voters. He promised to be a fiscal conservative, a unifier and a healer, an independent thinker who would use reasoned judgment to make decisions, one who would prioritize public safety. He's followed through on none of those promises. In fact, his decisions and actions during his time in office have done great damage to our community and county government. We believed we could not sit idly by for another 3.5 years and allow his pattern of reckless and irresponsible decision-making to continue. We hope that District 1 voters will have an opportunity to revisit the issue of Mr. Crye's leadership and weigh the crippling consequences of his decisions now that they've seen what he's done as opposed to just what he said. Thank you. I'll now answer any questions that members of the press might have. We're scheduled to turn in our petitions at 9:30, so if anybody has any questions right now, I'd be happy to answer.
Well, now the real work begins. Where do you go from here?
Okay, well, the Register of Voters has 30 business days within which to certify the validity of the signatures. So whether it would take her that long remains to be seen. We're confident that we will have the required number of signatures, so we have already started to meet to plan the next efforts. We've got groups that are meeting to discuss strategy, to discuss media campaigns, fundraising, etc. So we go on full speed ahead once we'd have a little time to take a breath and plan for the second phase of this campaign.
Do you wait until you get the confirmation that you have enough valid signatures before you really unleash the campaign?
Well, before we fully unleash the campaign, certainly, but we'll be in the planning stage while that's going on. We'll continue to have some media, but primarily we'll wait for serious fundraising to occur, of course, until after we have all the signatures verified. But strategy sessions, discussions, planning will be ongoing once we've had a little time to catch our breath, because it has been a monumental effort, I'll tell you. I mean, the amazing work by the hundreds, literally hundreds of volunteers, some of them are here today. It's extraordinary. The work that we've put in, as Tim said, it was April 25th that we served Supervisor Crye with the notice of intent to recall. We started gathering our first signature on May 16th, and we haven't stopped in those 4 months. The deadline is tomorrow, and we've been going nonstop the entire way. So we're ready to take a little break.
Where do you guys shoot for, the November or the March ballot here?
November is not a possibility. That deadline is already passed. So it's likely that the recall will be on the March 5th, 2024 ballot. Almost certainly. That'll be up to the Registrar of Voters and the Board of Supervisors, of course, but the election, once the certification is made, cannot be held earlier than 88 days and typically no later than 125 days, but they would have 180 days from the date of certification to set the election if there's another regularly scheduled election already set, which there is, March 5th, 2024, and that's why we anticipate that the election would be in March.
Have you gotten any feedback from the governor's office since you sent that letter a few months back telling him to essentially stay out of this?
We have not. We haven't heard from the governor's office. We plan to, of course, re-energize those efforts and see what headway we can make, but we haven't heard from the governor and don't know if we will or not. We do know, as you know, we've asked the governor not to intervene in this. We sent a letter out to the governor saying, let the District 1 voters decide this issue. There's no reason for you to intervene. And as we've also pointed out, he has a history of not acting in some of these local northern counties. Modoc and Glenn had supervisorial seats open for a long time. So, we believe that there's a strong likelihood that he will not get involved and that it will be up to the District 1 voters to decide whether to keep Mr. Crye in his position of leadership. Anybody else?
Can you talk
Annalise?
a little bit about the signature verification process from your standpoint, what you're waiting to see once the clerk takes a look at all this?
Well, I would say that we've had an internal vetting process and a review process. We had much more than 5104 signatures. I mean, we had somewhere in the range of 5,600, I believe. But a lot of those people were clearly outside of District 1 And so rather than turn those in, we've already eliminated those and just focused on only those where we're confident that they're valid signatures, or we're confident that there's enough of an issue there to let Ms. Darlene Allen decide. Frankly, I don't know all the processes that she will use to verify these signatures. I think a lot of it is just comparing the signature on the petition with the signature in the Registrar of Voters office and ensuring that they're in the proper district. So that's why we're confident, because of the vetting that we've already done, to eliminate a lot of the clearly erroneous signatures that were out of the district, that will have well above the 4151 needed to qualify for the ballot. Anyone else? Great. Why don't we just take a little break, because we have... Good morning, Donnie.
Good morning.
Okay. Why don't we take a little break? We have an appointment scheduled for 9:30 to actually turn in the petitions, and apparently cameras will be allowed in there. If anybody wants to talk to any of our volunteers, please feel free. Thank you all for being here.
Good job, Jeff.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Good job.
Yeah, right here. Right.
Here's our cover sheet, Joanna.
Probably not. Right. That's true.
Guys, come on in. Everybody can fit in here.
Oh, but.
Could you explain for us, Jeff, why she's doing this? What's going on right now?
Well, I think she's just giving us a receipt as to what we're dropping off. I've given her a cover sheet indicating what we're delivering, how many signatures, that I've got authorization from one of the proponents to be actually turning these in on behalf of the proponent, Charlie Menor, who's one of our proponents. So I think she's just prepared to provide a receipt. Ms. Francesca, if I'm wrong in any way, please let me know.
You're not wrong. So I'm just giving you a receipt, and it basically states that you turn in 1,031 sections for a total of 5,104 signatures. We're going to do a raw count and give you what we determine to be the official number later this week.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I need to go make a copy of this for us,
Okay.
and I'll be right back with that for you.
Good job, folks.
How long will the initial count take? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you need to do a count to establish a prima facie number to make sure that we have 4,151 signatures.
Yeah, so first we're going to do the raw count. So the raw count is every signature you're turned in.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we get those numbers entered into our system and proofed to make sure every section is entered correctly, then we'll send you a letter that says, hey, this is our final raw count. We're going to start, based on the raw count, we're going to start the random sampling of the full check of signatures from that point on. So I'm hoping by the end of this week it's done, but depending on workflow, we have 8 days to do that, and that's 8 business days,
Not calendar days,
not
8
calendar-
business days.
8 business days to take care of.
Okay.
So
And the public can observe that process if desired or not?
it's pretty limited of what they can observe because this is confidential information. So according to California law, petitions are confidential. No one can observe the actual signatures or look at that process. So the only thing that can be observed is us prepping the raw count. If you determine that you want to observe that, but other than that, we should have that done pretty quickly. So,
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Joanne, I appreciate it. I don't know that anybody has any interest in observing the raw count. I mean, we're confident in the integrity and the professionalism of our elections department, and
We believe that everything that needs to be done will be done correctly.
Great job, everyone.
They registered quite a few.